Hello everyone, how's everybody doing? Welcome back to another Pokémon Cards Mail Day. It is episode 23 in June of 2026. Today I present to you 3 piles of Pokémon cards, mainly Pokémon cards that I purchased over the last 2 weeks that I received through the mail lately. And the first pile consists of cards that I have already put them back up for sale. The sales are going a little bit slower these days, and you will see that the Pokémon cards that I purchased are a little bit less in quantity too. That is because I only buy Pokémon cards with the money that I get from selling Pokémon cards. I'm not adding a lot of cash from other sources to the hobby anymore at this moment, but sometimes that comes with certain disadvantages because if you don't sell any cards, you don't get the money to buy the new cards that you want. Now, the cards that we're going over right now, let me just light a little bit. That's a little bit better, starting off with this Sun and Moon base Altaria GX. Awesome full art, pretty tough to obtain at this current moment. There was only one listed on Card Market. It's a beautiful card. I would definitely have kept it in my collection, but I'm not collecting Japanese full arts of the Sun and Moon era at this moment. What I do collect are a bunch of different Cosmos foils. I must say the demand for them is really disappointing me. When I say that I am collecting them, I am purchasing them in large quantities. A part of the cards goes into my binders and the other part is going back up online because I think this is cool inventory to show to other people as well. The entire reason for me buying and selling Pokemon cards and mainly collecting Pokemon cards is being an active member of the community. I really like to interact with people in the hobby. I do also this YouTube content and I watch a bunch of other YouTubers online as well, which is really entertaining, educational for collecting purposes, and inspirational as well if you see other people's collections. So at this moment, there is not a lot of demand for my Pokemon cards at all, specifically not for these Cosmos foils, unfortunately. I have a lot of duplicates. Here we have some cards that I had for a longer time, but I decided to relist them and then they end up on this pile too. We have the Gem Pack Volume 1, the Fuecoco Shiny. It's a simplified Chinese card, really awesome. These exclusive, this is not an exclusive one, but the exclusive in simplified Chinese are currently really doing well. They are really in demand, a lot of hype around them, prices are going up at the moment. But in case you are new here on the long form videos, I mainly collect Japanese art rare Pokemon cards, and then we have full art trainers, both English and Japanese, and the trainer galleries and the Galarian galleries. That is what I really like to collect, special illustration rares. And then I have a couple of vintage cards and miscellaneous cards that I put aside for perhaps for grading, but I have sitting in a box in an ETB stored away for a really long time. I just don't get to submit them. I don't have the time for it. I don't want to have the risk. So moving on to this really cool vintage Blossom. I had this once before. This might actually be one that I had up online for a year or two already. It's not selling that fast. Beautiful condition, 1 or 2 small scratches. It devalues the card a little bit, but it doesn't take away that it is a beautiful piece of art, and it is already vintage. It's really from one of the first sets of Pokemon ever. Then we move into this beautiful Infinity Zone Houndoom full art. I tried to buy out this card on Card Market in Japanese and English as well. I purchased like 20 copies of each. There were not that many available to my surprise. So I purchased them between $6 and $10, and as soon as the lowest listing price arrived at $10, I stopped buying them. I started selling some for $10, and then I saw they all got relisted and people started undercutting each other again, so the price went down to $8 to $7, maybe to $6 again where it started. But occasionally I still managed to sell one. They were in beautiful condition as well. There were some really cool PSA 10 contenders in there. So has everybody heard about the new Delta Rain Rayquaza set? I think that will be a really cool card based on what we have seen of the design of the regular Ultra Rare currently. I'm not so much buying the hyped up cards anymore, so I'm not going after all the Rayquaza cards. I did do that, so I'm going after some of the Jesse and James cards, as you might have known or heard by now. There was a new trademark registered by the Pokémon company which was called or named "Are You From Team Rocket Perhaps?" So that news was just revealed, and my initial thought was maybe it's a new product, maybe it's a new set name. But what it can also be, since the Chinese side of the hobby has caught up until prismatic evolutions right now, it can also be, for in the near future, it can be this Chinese side of Destined Rivals. The Chinese, simplified Chinese side of the glory of Team Rocket, so it might not be something new at all. We might see some new exclusive cards, but nothing is indicating that it will be an entirely new set after the 30th anniversary, for example. But I sure do hope it will be a new set. I'm really looking forward to those Jesse and James cards, and that is how I came to this topic. I'm going to purchase some of the Jesse and James cards from Hidden Fates. Maybe just the regular cards even. They are maybe $1 each in reverse foil and regular foil, not even the full arts. I wish I did that years ago, buying them for 5 cents a piece. I would be up 20x on my money if I sold them for $1. But yeah, that was completely besides the point. We have some really cool black and white art rares here. So these cards are surprisingly expensive. The black and white sets are holding up their value really well. I'm really glad I purchased some of the sealed products. I'm really glad I purchased some of these art rares. Although I'm not collecting them specifically, there are some in my binder from those sets. So arriving at this Surfing Pikachu V, it reminds me we had a huge, gigantic thunderstorm over the last week. I tried to make a Zapdos short about it, but it didn't really perform well or work out well. But at least we had such a big storm. I haven't seen that in years. Pretty spectacular, and it was cool to see because it was at night as well, so it was perfectly visible everywhere. A lot of damage, unfortunately, but not here at my house, but in general a lot of damage in the country. But as long as you were safe, it was a really nice spectacle to see. So moving back to Pokemon cards, folks, I just wanted to mention it. It was really something else. I hadn't seen that in a really long time. We have the Mew here. I purchased some more Double Blaze Mews. They finally arrived, so I purchased them before the previous episode, but they arrived only now after the previous episode. We have some more of the 30th anniversary stamped Pikachu cards here, folks. That's a really cool Pikachu Temporal Forces Pikachu Cosmos foil 30th anniversary stamped. They came in a box with a pin or a coin and then 2 or 3 booster packs. Awesome product as well. I only purchased a bunch of these as singles. I haven't purchased the sealed product. We have a Budew here, Budew. Pretty playable card, but it has been replaced by some other cards too, but still for item luck it is a nice card to play. Then we have the Prismatic Evolution stamped Tyranitar EX, a regular ultra rare with a really nice promo stamp, and so does this Lucario EX also have a promo stamp. These are 2 really cool cards. I purchased and sold a lot of them, but currently the demand is a little bit down. Yes, at the moment the market can also be saturated, right? If you sell something 10 times, maybe there are not 11 people at that time interested in the object. I'm glad I didn't buy 50 copies of each. Yes, I have 1 left now and that is still up for sale, which is pretty cool, pretty fine with me. There's no excessive capital locked away at the moment in that one, but yeah, it is a bit of a shame. Every time when I put cards away for the personal collection, that is the first purpose of me buying cards, to put them in the personal collection and then sell some again to recoup some of the money to buy new cards again for the personal collection. But every time I put the cards aside for the PC, I have less Pokemon cards to put up for sale, so at one point I'm left with the cards that are not selling and there are not new cards coming in. Well, there are several ways to tackle that problem. Obviously, you can lower the prices of the cards that you really want to get rid of. You're not always able to make money on it, but selling a card with 10% loss instead of 10% profit, that's not really a problem. If you get all the capital of that card back, it only means that is a bit of a shame. If you take the loss, then it will mean that another card that you sold with 10% profit, you have done all that for nothing at all. So basically you didn't lose any money, but you lost time in packaging and shipping out the order and having the conversation with the customer, etc. So a really cool Frogadier art rare here, folks. One of my favorites. I'm waiting for 1.5 weeks now. That's a bit of a problem because I have purchased some of these cards for the PC, but also I was taking into account that I was able to sell them at the right moment too. For 1.5 weeks there are 3 Froakies and 4 Fennekins on the way. The Chespins have arrived after 10 days, so I was a bit shocked. They were supposed to arrive within 5 days and then it taking already 14 days. I'm still confident they will arrive, but it is not what I had planned for. So then we move into the Rapidash, Galarian Rapidash. I don't see this card too often anymore. Unfortunately, it has a little bit of damage. Then we have the VMAX Climax. Oh no, this is Battle Region Japanese. What is it? The Astral Radiance Japanese equivalent. Awesome card, small set, easy to pull probably. But I'm really a fan of all these trainer galleries and Galarian galleries and character rares they were called in English, or in Japanese, excuse me. But I decided to put all my cards that I have listed, even if it is an art rare or character rare or illustration rare or special illustration rare or trainer gallery or something, I put all these now under the name art rare or illustration rare or special illustration rare. No more Galarian galleries, no more trainer galleries, no more character rares. It's a bit easier, and as many people say in the hobby, the life cycle of a collector is no longer than, on average, longer than 1 to 2 years. So everybody who was around during this era in 2022, a bunch of the people are not around anymore, and a bunch of the people that are still around are familiar with, okay, calling it an art rare or illustration rare is probably just fine as well. I mean, Card Market is doing the same. They are not listed as trainer galleries, although I think the character rares are still a thing. So got in a larger order, 120 bucks or so worth of art rares, and then some of them came a little bit damaged. I will show it to you. I will try to zoom in on the card where the damage is. I've made a bunch of pictures for the original seller as well. Let me see if I can show it. Some scratches start to appear up here. Slowly but surely, by moving it in the right direction in the light. Yeah, there are some scratches on screen in the middle. Alright, I will show you the picture. Perhaps we can find it like this. Yeah, there's one here. Yeah, there's one here more in the middle of the screen. Anyways, it is a large area with scratches up there. And I purchased the card near mint, and if you inspect it like this, and you look at it 2 seconds, and you think, alright, the back, fine, front, nice, alright, near mint, let's go. Now that's when you get the cards in, or when you sell the cards, you really have to take time to take a closer look at the condition. Make sure the customer is not disappointed or unsatisfied with their order if they are willing to buy the cards from you, and you have to obviously put the cards in the right condition when you put them up for sale. So we have some really cool non-stickered cards. Okay, there's the Tangela, Solrock, Flygon. These are all pretty good near mint condition. Awesome 151 Pokemon cards, by the way, I'm really fan of those. We talked about it in the past episodes a lot. All in all, $2 here, $3 there, $5 here, $10 there. It starts to add up if you have such a large amount of cards listed. And yeah, I said it before, it was pretty liquid. It is still pretty liquid. I'm selling for. I have to ship out today 2 bubble mailers and 3 tracked letterboxes, but the value inside them is not that great. Not too much money is spent by people on Pokemon cards, although they still are ordering cards from me. The higher end cards of $50 and over are not moving as fast anymore at all. I get a lot of lowball offers on some of the PSA graded cards that I have listed, but I'm refusing to put them away for that money. So there are a lot of ways to get around selling your cards for a lower amount of money. There was even someone coming to me and saying, hey, I buy it for 80%, all the vendors do it, you can just sell it to me. And I'm like, you come to me. You can buy it for the price that I have it listed for, or you can buy it somewhere else, I don't mind. But I was very quickly done with that person. Moving on to the last stack of Pokemon cards for today's video, my personal collection pickup. So I can always put these cards up for sale, but I really prefer not to. We needed one more Mesprit. I had sold one of my Mesprits from my personal collection binder, so I purchased one back. We have the Archeops, a beautiful card. I'm really a pretty big dinosaur fan, so this was probably named after one of the first birds that was ever found, one of the first fossils, the Archaeopteryx, I believe. Or it was then called one of the first feathered dinos. I can't really remember, but as research moved on, they started to discover a lot more Pokemon, I would say. I mean, a lot more dinosaurs with feathers. They were able to see it with a microscope in the bone structure or something. I can't really remember, don't quote me on that. We have a Wimpod, awesome ancient Pokemon as well. Then we have the Chespin art rare. And one more, so this is the backstock of what oh no, this is for the PC, excuse me. So I have a lot of them in the backstock for the inventory, and then I have a lot of them for my personal collection. And Meteor, yeah, I wanted to say that. I purchased this to sell, but I'm going to keep it. I want to have a little bit more art rares in the collection. We are currently busy with another type of content at the moment, with emptying an ETB filled up with art rares, trainer galleries, full arts, you name it, and we are filtering out all the full art trainer cards that are in there to eventually put together in my full art trainer binder and fill that binder and make some space in the ETB for new cards like these. So before we end the video here, if you like this kind of content, folks, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you think of the new Delta Rain, and what do you think the new Team Rocket announcement of the set review or trademark registering, what that can be all about. And we moved Zorua, one more Zorua. I have some up for sale, but it is not selling that well. And we have one more Pidgey for the collection. I sold one, let's put one back. And now that things are not selling so fast in terms of the art rares and all these cards that I've just showed you, there are still a lot more things to do. I need to expand the space that I have currently built for the bulk that I have listed on other platforms. So besides continuously buying Pokemon cards for the personal collection, I'm also trying to save up some money to buy a new shelf. Some more shelf space for 4-row boxes. And like I said, in the slow times there is a lot to do. I have a lot of Funko Pops that I still have to go over and check and filter what I want to keep for the collection and what I eventually want to put back up for sale. Then I was going over some of the Disney Lorcana cards that I pulled. Here we have a pre-errata befuddle. So what pre-errata is, the card has been corrected in a later print run, and here you can see return a character or item. So on the revised card, on the new edition of the card, but it's still the same card in the same set but a new print run, they basically changed it to only return a character with 2 cost or less to the player's hand. That is what I understood of it. So this is one proof that I really purchased the first edition of the first chapter of Lorcana, and now I'm going to sell it. I have a bunch more of these pre-errata cards, but I sold them already before there was even a second revised edition. So there are some cool cards in here. Mickey Mouse, I thought this card would have been 30 bucks, and then I pulled another card, I don't know which card it was, which was actually worth 30 bucks, and I put it aside and I said, okay, let me look at the Mickey. I have a couple of Elsa cards. I just watched Toy Story 5. It was a pretty cool movie as well, I must say, just for a casual watch. Pretty nice animated, pretty well animated. You will see Disney is getting better at that as well. Especially if you compare it to the first Toy Story movies, etc. But yeah, I don't want to keep you any longer. There is a lot of stuff to do even when the sales are a little bit down. I can't wait for the sales volume and a little bit of more money incoming to return. But I will make sure in the meantime that I'm really a little bit more prepared for when that is happening. If there are a new wave of collectors, or maybe there is a new demand for certain cards that I have in stock, and I'm going to expand the amount of bulk that I have listed from 15k to 20k at least. So there's a lot of work to do, alphabetize everything. Looking for new shelves. I have seen some pretty cool ideas and inspiration from other YouTubers, but I'm not really... I don't have all those options here. It is just a really small room with everything stacked up already. But yeah, that are also topics for other videos, folks. Thanks for watching. Have a beautiful, wonderful day with this really nice weather. And yet again, if you like this kind of content, leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. And I'll catch you all on the next episode, which will probably be another collection episode.